morning and welcome, my friends. Yes, this is a live edition of the Flipside coming to you on this Thursday morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. It is shortly after 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I must say I haven't done a show this early in quite some time. It's just one of those things that happens when you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and after a couple of cups of fine Mexican brewed Java, you are ready and raring to go. There are a number of issues I want to draw your attention to. I have the applicable stories highlighted on my webpage over at RobbieNoel.com. Although there were a few economic reports due out today, the big enchilada obviously is going to be the jobs report tomorrow. And based on the weak readings that the market got from the ADP report on Wednesday, which showed private hiring didn't create as many jobs as hoped, which they blamed on the weather. Pretty much all the bad economic news that's come out in the past month has all been blamed on the weather. Even the new head of the Federal Reserve, when she finally made her appearance before the Senate Finance Committee, said that between her testimony before the House and 2 weeks later before the Senate, economic numbers had weakened due to the unusual effects of global warming, if you will. Today's major economic number was what the ECB and Great Britain were going to do about their interest rates. Well, no shock or surprise. Both kept interest rates at current levels. The immediate market reaction points to a somewhat higher open for the Dow. Gold currently off $3 at 13.37. But as you can expect, we're in an environment when someone of prominence could say something at any point in time that turns the market upside down, and although there are no Fed governors expected to make any speeches, Mario Draghi is set to give a press conference in about an hour from now, and who knows? He could say something stupid. Fortunately, nothing stupid happened overnight with the Ukrainian affair. It seems as though the powers that be are trying to figure out how to give Vladimir Putin a exit option without losing face. Apparently there have been numerous discussions taking place between Angela Merkel and Barack Obama, trying to figure out a way to defuse what could quite easily turn into a cataclysmic affair, as many have been warning of late, especially Dr. Paul Roberts, who feels that the entire world is in danger because of the events in the Ukraine. As I said on yesterday's show, I am not up on Ukrainian, or for that matter, Eastern European history, although I do pay attention to events that go on. I am absolutely no expert in this field whatsoever, so I rely on folks that are a lot smarter than me to lead me in the right direction. I have a great deal of respect for former Treasury official Dr. Craig Roberts, and if he says the world is in danger, I think it's pretty safe to assume that he is correct. One of the more serious problems, and in large part it is statements made by John Kerry, that are somewhat disturbing, in that he seems to be taking his direction not from that of the President of the United States, but rather it's becoming very apparent that the U.S. once again is getting its foreign policy advice from APEC. How else can one explain Benjamin Netanyahu's sudden and recent trip to the United States? A story I know that's not going to get much attention in today's news cycle would be any mention whatsoever of the story that Bloomberg broke yesterday, that a lawsuit has been filed in New York, Manhattan Court District by Kevin Mayer, a resident of Manhattan, who said that he had bought and sold futures and options contracts in gold, and his complaint is supported by various news reports that appeared in Bloomberg News last week by the two researchers, showing what they said were unusual pricing patterns connected to the London gold fix. A guy I always enjoy his commentary is Ted Ferguson, who has actually gone through the trouble of going to the Southern District of New York and getting a copy of the actual complaint. The complaint is Maher versus Bank of Nova Scotia. He said he went on to give the complaint a quick review, and he says his initial impression was he was far from being impressed. In fact, he was actually quite shocked by what he discovered in reading the complaint. According to Ted Ferguson, the lawsuit has a single class representative who bought some futures on the COMEX. The legal theory is straight antitrust based, primarily on the claim that the London Metals Exchange twice-a-day price fix is somehow a violation of the Sherman Antitrust Act and the Clayton Act. The sole facts plead consist of empirical evidence of price moves, hardly persuasive, along with a recounting of the manner in which the five banks set the London gold fix. According to Ted, he doesn't believe that this case will remain in federal court because he feels that one of the named defendants, either Barclays Bank or Bank of Nova Scotia, will seek a motion to dismiss, and there's a high degree of probability this will be the case. Don't expect the mainstream media to do any in-depth reporting into this in any way, shape, or form. They are obviously more concerned with other news stories such as Hillary Clinton accusing Vladimir Putin of acting like pre-World War II Adolf Hitler. The mainstream media in the U.S. is more about propaganda, depending on which channel you watch, for the benefit of political parties. There's no independent, unbiased news sources in the so-called mainstream media. That being said, let me say I have a number of articles posted on my webpage today that pretty much explains the major problem in the Ukraine, and that is obviously the movement of petroleum products, as it always is. But I also have an article that should be of interest to many, and that is we have a report on, as you know, the Fed recently released documents going back to minutes from meetings prior to the collapse of the markets in 2007, and what this article does is break down the report and explain exactly what Ben Bernanke, Robert Rubin, and the numerous investment houses in the U.S. were doing during the panic. I point this out to you as an interesting bit of history, because first off, the President's Working Group on Financial Affairs, otherwise known as the Plunge Protection Team, had been warned numerous times in the late 90s that the deregulation of the derivatives market would ultimately cause a financial collapse that could quite easily go global. And these assertions were made by the only female member of the Plunge Protection Team, Brooksy Bourne. She was head of the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. It was only a few years later where she was proven right in the collapse of a major investment house. So these guys were well aware of what devastation derivatives would cause in 2007, and none of them really had a clue in how to avert the tragedy. And so my point is simply this. If these economic intellectual elites are that smart, and if they missed all the warning signs and were in utter and complete panic when everything fell apart, what makes you think they any better prepared for the next major event that is ultimately going to take place? The only thing, as I've said many times, that I can't tell you is when. It could be in a month from now, could be in a year from now, could be 2 years from now. Who knows? Anyway, I've pushed my luck as far as I can with this early morning podcast, as I'm starting to see signs that the signal may be starting to break down. So let me just remind you that I'll have a full wrap-up of the day's events this afternoon, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, over on the Micro Effect. And for the record, right now, if you tuned into the Micro Effect, you would get to hear the early morning show with Mark Cornkey and Joe McNeil, followed by Jeffrey Bennett for 2 hours with Life, Liberty, and all that jazz. John Stokes follows. Then we have Jack Blood for 2 hours, and Roger Sales from Argentina. And I kind of close out the afternoon with the wrap-up edition of the Flipside. So I hope you join me then. If you want to contact me, toll-free number is available on my website at robbynoel.com. Also, if you want to drop me an email, just under the Flying Eagle Gold and Silver banner, just click on my name and it should take you to your email system and fire off a question or anything else you wish to say. And so, my friends, that brings to a conclusion this early morning edition of the Flipside.